I really like the VOICELIVE Touch, and when I play guitar, I like to switch in and out of harmony. So when I read the manual, it said you have to have a remote switch, and there's this S3 switch you can get, but it retails for $100. You can probably get it for 50, but I only need one of those 3 switches just to switch in and out of harmony. So of course I decided to make my own. If you only need to switch in and out of harmony remotely, and you can do everything else by touching, why spend all that money? Take $10, spend an hour or so, and build your own harmony switch for your VOICELIVE Touch. So let's see how to do it. So I have a small piece of 1/4 inch MDF. I'm going to cut the parts out for the case. First we're going to cut the top and the bottom. They're each 4 1/4 inches by 3 inches. They're 1/4 inch stock, of course. Then the 2 sides, we have 1 3/8 inch here, 3/4 of an inch here, and we cut an angle there, and we do that on both sides, and they're mirror images of each other. And then we have the front, which is 3 inches wide by 3/4 inch high, and I've machined a little angle here. This is actually 10 degrees, and the angle slopes down towards the very front. And then we have the back, which is 2 1/2 by 1 3/8 high, and we also have that angle, which is 10 degrees, but the angle slopes towards the inside of the box, not the outside of the box here. So we take the 2 sides, and we're going to do the back first. I'm going to take some glue, put it on the edges here, and insert those right like that. Okay. Then we're going to take the front, and we're going to take put some glue on each side here. Put it on the ends here, nice and tight, and we'll let that dry for a little while. Now this is dried, so we can glue the top on. So we take the top, put glue around the edges, and place it on. Now, to be perfectly honest, you don't really have to clamp this, but since I have the clamps, maybe I'll do some clamping. Now we'll let that dry. The glue's had time to set, so we can take the clamps off, and here's our case. You notice that it's a little rough here and there. It's a little sticks out here, sticks in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand this all file and sand it down so it looks really nice. Now I've finished this off. I've sanded everything even, and I've drilled 2 holes. One hole in the top for the push button switch I have, normally open push button switch, which goes in like that, and then another hole on the side for the cable I'm going to use. Now for the cable, I have some old cables around that I use with my guitars and stuff that just aren't reliable anymore. So I'm just going to take one, and I know this is hard to watch, but I'm just going to clip that right off. I'm going to run that cable right through here. Okay, it's a little too small, so I'm going to open that up a little bit more. Keep doing this one drill bit at a time till it'll just fit through. And there we go, just fits through, comes out on the bottom. I finished the case, and now I'm going to mount my normally open push button switch in a hole that I prepared for it, and I'll just tighten it up with a pair of pliers so it doesn't come loose on me. Now I'm going to take the cable that I cut the end off of previously, run it through, give myself plenty of room to work, and now I'm going to strip the cable. And again, this is stranded wire, so I'm going to move that around like that. Now I'm going to pull this back out to a nice comfortable position. So what I've done is I've soldered one of the conductors onto one of the lugs and the other conductor onto the other lug, and it doesn't matter which one goes where. Now I'm going to cut my guitar cable again. I'm going to take about 6 feet, and I've measured that's about 6 feet, and I'm going to cut that again. So I just have a little piece left over, I'll use that for another project. Now remember, this one is on this end, and on this end I am going to put a stereo 1/4 inch connector, stereo 1/4 inch plug, sometimes called a TRS plug. So what I need to do is what I did before. I'm going to strip, well, before I strip, I'm going to take this and put this over it so that I can put it back onto the connector. Now I'm going to strip a little bit of wire, and what I'm going to do is connect this to here and this to here. So let's do that. The last thing I have to do is screw this back in, and that's it. Now let's go see if it works. So let's see how this works. Works pretty good. Now that we know it works, we just have to do 1 or 2 extra things. I want to make sure that this cable doesn't pull out, so when I have my old trusty glue gun, I'm just going to put some hot glue around the cable, and that works like a strain relief so that the cable can't pull out or can't pull in. Last thing we have to do is put the bottom on. Now we can put it on permanently by gluing it, or we can just temporarily put it on so that if we have to fix it later for some reason, it'll work. So we just take a little bit of hot glue, put it on there, put the bottom on, and I'll finish that later on. But that's essentially it. That's on there real good. It'll stay on there. So build one and save yourself some money if all you need is to remotely switch your harmony on and off on your VOICELIVE Touch. Let's give it a try.
I can sing in unison or harmony. Didn't even have to go and buy an S3. Didn't have to order it and wait by the door. I just watch Photopen's video. Yeah.